Welcome back, everybody, to our Online Survival 3 podcast, winding down with episode 9. And per usual, ups and downs for you guys.
This was hard.
Yeah, it was. It was.
The up was hard because I do feel like the combination of Dot, Rochelle, and T are running this game. I'm gonna give T the up this week. Even though I thought Alex caught her and got her in some trouble there at tribal council with flat out asking her how to vote. Apparently the vote was different than what I thought it was, so props to her. And my down, Alex, again, I feel like I've had him down all season. If he makes it to the end, he deserves to win, but I don't see him getting there. He's got a tough road ahead of him.
Yeah, Alex for sure. It's hard because I want to say he went down, but then he avoided getting eliminated. But I mean, with the twist at the end, I'm thinking it might be Alex. So, because they just flushed his idol. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna just put Alex down. Yeah, like Dave said, I feel bad for the dude. I try to give him something. I don't know, but yeah, Alex went down. He lost his boy Nav, and he don't really trust Carrie. That was the whole debacle about him carrying Dot at tribal. So
I was fixing to get worse when Alex finds out that Carrie voted for Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So my up. Wait, did I say my up? Oh no, I didn't. Dang, this is tough because I wanna say Dot went up, but I don't know. I don't want to give it to him. I feel weird about saying it. It almost make me like get a gag reflex in my throat.
I thought you were Team Dot.
She was until like a few weeks ago.
I know. I don't know. He just threw me off. I guess I'm trying to get back on his team, honestly. Like, that's my boy, So I'm gonna say he went up. He beat out Alex, I feel like for the first time he got a win over Alex. So congrats, Dot. Take your win, boy.
How are you gonna put him up when he couldn't even hold up his arms?
I know. It was embarrassing. That's why I don't want to put him up. That's why it's hard for me to say it. I know. Trust me.
It was that stupid jacket he had on. I feel like.
What was he packing under there? Like
guns and stuff. Who knows?
But
Let's go ahead and start with the challenge. Any more thoughts on the little arm buster challenge and Carrie pulling out a really good win, only 12 seconds off?
I mean, it looked like you had those folks sitting in Guantanamo Bay. I mean, oh man, it looked torturous. Like
it was only 24 minutes.
I know, but you added like the whole arms up thing, which I didn't have to do. I hate this challenge personally. I was one of those that you let go like 5 minutes over before telling us. It's a tough challenge. Like you can never really, you've got to have a really good internal clock. And it doesn't help that you have folks like Alex singing. When I did it, it was Fan Guy that was singing ballads the entire time. It's a tough challenge to do. Props to Carrie. She damn near hit it on the money. Yeah, that's a tough challenge. I hate it.
Yeah, it is tough. I mean, shout out to Carrie. She killed that shit. Honestly, I had very, very high hopes for Alex. His logic was on point, the 60 BPMs, the song. And I'm like, boy, you was so off. I don't know. Maybe he
was almost 20 minutes exactly, but I don't know if he was just trying to do 20 minutes or if he was trying to do 24 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna pull it out, but no, congrats to Carrie. She is, you know what? I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna give my up to Carrie. Sorry, Dot. Carrie, she deserved it. She is good right now, and I thought she was gonna go home about 3 times ago. So you know what, Carrie, you got up. You on my up.
She's close. Is starting to become Aspen 3.0. She's getting there.
Yeah, I taught her well. Hey.
Hello, Mike. Would you like to join in on ups and downs?
Yeah, I'll join in on ups and downs. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah,
all right. I got pretty obvious down for Alex this week. And then I feel like there's a lot of people the up could have occurred to, but I mean, in honor of their long-standing feud, I'll give it to Dot. Give him the up. He won out in their little feud, so and he seemed to be doing all right with his securing his position this week. So I will hand it to Dot this time.
Do you regret taking away your up from Dot now, Aspen?
No, I was gonna give Mike props because I'm like, good job, Mike, because that was my exact up and down. And then I took away it from Dot because it was hard for me to even say that he was my up, and I gave it to Kerry. So I'm glad that you came in and gave him his up, because he did do a good job. He like Mike said, he beat out the feud. That's exactly what I was saying. At this point, he has got to win over Alex. So thank you, Mike.
And then we were also just talking about the challenge. If you have any thoughts on the challenge, Mike.
I'm shocked. I mean, hats off to Carrie. I mean, I'm not shocked because that she won. I'm shocked as to how close she was to being right. That's got to be the best we've ever seen in this challenge, right? I mean, that was impressive. I mean,
Sure.
there's a little bit of luck involved always, but still impressive. Hats off. Did Nav really think he was at 9-something minutes? Jesus, that has got to be the most.
I think he said 9-something seconds after.
Yeah.
He was. At first, I thought he meant 9 minutes too, and I was like, God damn, you're really off.
Okay, so it was seconds he was off. That's fine. Seconds, 9 seconds isn't that much, but he would have been a minute 30 off still because he thought he was still under. But yeah, the challenge, that's tough, and you made it harder. Like I had trouble doing this when I can comfortably rest my elbows, but out, I mean, I don't blame any of them for being in pain. I feel bad for specifically the people, I think it was just Nav and T who went over. I feel bad for them that they did it as long as they did and got nothing out of it.
I think, like, if I ever have to do this challenge again, I'm either going to do like Alex did and just count way below, or as soon as the timer starts, I'm just pulling it off and saying, fuck this. Like, I'm not even going to try this challenge.
Wow. Oh, those are the two options, I guess. But no, Alex kind of had a similar idea to me, is that he has a chunk of time that he knows, and he just does that chunk of time. His was just a song that was beats because he's a musician even more than I am in that aspect. And I just went with 5-minute chunks. And then at the end, after you've done that, do single counting for a little while and then take it off.
What's the CPR song? Staying Alive? That's 60 beats. Yeah, that's 60 beats per minute. And they teach you to do that to practice CPR. I'm gonna have to remember that for next time.
Right? Write that down.
So the main points of this episode were everybody, contemplating how to vote because of a power possibly in the game, Fan Guy throwing Alex under the bus. And that was how this whole episode kind of panned out, because they knew Alex had a power, didn't know exactly what it was. But I mean, I don't know where to really start, but how do you all think about, Rochelle, T, and Dot all taking Anthony's advice from the last episode to this episode?
What was his advice last episode?
That they needed to pull something off to make Alex use his power, but not vote for Alex.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the strategies I like when you think somebody has a power is to make them think they're going to get voted, and then vote out the least likely. Like if you have a 3-person alliance and that one person, the top, you think has an idol, make them think that they're going out, and then vote the third in the totem pole, just because you know that you'll be able to get them out, and then you flush the idol. But they were all over the place with this. Like, even I was confused as to where the vote was going by the end of the episode.
Well, Dot didn't know where he was voting until tribal, so.
It's very chaotic.
The safe vote is this like strategy that just, it feels like there needs to be a counter meta to it. Like, it seems pretty obvious to me now that if you are in a minority alliance and you feel unsafe and you've been made to feel unsafe, that maybe you should realize they're probably going to do a safe vote if they know you have a power. That's an important part of the equation. If they know you have a power, that's why I'm very pro idling other people. Don't, but like, it's just, it's hard to read. I mean, they were an alliance of 2, so it really shouldn't be. And Carrie was immune. If they thought they had Carrie, which Nav told Alex he didn't have Carrie, but even if they did, she's immune, so she's not in danger. You have to 50-50, and if you really feel like you're going, maybe make a play. It's about to be final 6, and if you do think you can pull Carrie back in with that kind of numbers, make a move, idle someone else, and you either lose there or you win there instead of sticking around and hoping you win 3 to 4 challenges. I mean, that's I think a really bad gamble. You got to play to get numbers at some point because you're not going to win every challenge.
I mean, they didn't even vote together.
That was just poor communication in there.
That was poor communication.
That was just poor communication. And it was poor communication on multiple levels. Alex not just outright admitting he had an idol, and Nav's like, I want to save Alex, but he didn't trust Alex enough, which is fair. I wouldn't trust Alex in this scenario either, but he's like, he didn't trust him enough to tell him that he had an idol, ... but he trusted Carrie, which is a real head scratcher, in my opinion. He put the information to the wrong people because I don't know. I was a little,
God, I wanted to give Nav my down, but I didn't want to waste it because I guess he ain't the first person that's went home with an idol in his pocket.
Carrie.
Nah,
Carrie did, right?
Carrie didn't have an idol, but she did have a power.
Okay, fair enough. I never give the down to the boot. I mean, if I did, I think, Alex and Nav both had a pretty terrible episode, but like,
yeah,
Nav made so many mistakes.
I didn't understand why he didn't play his idol. I mean, he knew it could have been possible. As soon as Alex played his idol for himself, I would have instantly been like, all right, you know what? I'm going to play mine for me too. And then I guess who would have went home? T or Rochelle? It would have been
a tie between T and Rochelle, so yeah.
Yeah. So,
I really think he was confident it was Alex. That's what he knew from everyone he talked to. It made sense with the narrative. It made sense with Dot's hatred of Alex. I can understand why he did what he did. His idol was good till the final 4 too, which probably made him see stars in his eyes. Like, ooh, final 4 idol play. Like I know, I can reason why he didn't play the idol. It doesn't. Obviously, with hindsight, it was a bad move, but I'm not going to give him too much shit over it. I'm giving him more shit with how he handled who he told about it, when he told about it, and the way he talked to Alex. I don't know why he didn't just say. Maybe he did say, and Alex just skirted around the answer, but he's like, why didn't he just say, so is it an idol you have? Because if it's an idol, we need to plan and vote together.
I felt that Alex's only option was Nav, and when you have one person that is your only option in the game to work with, I feel you pretty much need to tell them your entire game. Otherwise, I mean, you have no shot. You have to make them trust in you 100%, and that's by telling them everything you know and all your plans. And now he's left on his own, like literally has nobody.
We'll get back to this in a while, but let's talk about Carrie reaching out to Rochelle, trying to get Rochelle on board. She kind of wanted Rochelle on board for a her and Nav thing, but it kind of turned into a her, Rochelle, Dot thing. Any thoughts on can Carrie and Rochelle actually work together?
It's gonna be tight. I wouldn't trust it if I was Carrie, and I wouldn't trust it if I was Rochelle. Just because Carrie should know that Rochelle want to work with T and Anthony more than she want to work with her and Dot. I feel like, but I mean, my girl Rochelle playing that middle part real nice. So
that's exactly what's going on. Is she really is just having these if they get rid of Alex successfully, now that he's advantageless, they pretty much just need to beat him in immunity and hope he doesn't. He's only been to exile one time, right? Or has he been more than once?
Alex?
Has he went twice?
3 times.
3 times.
No, just once.
He went in the merge.
Alex?
He got.
He started there, but
he started there.
He started there, right? Okay. and then he stayed an extra round. But I mean, those were just okay. But the returnees know that there wasn't too. Okay, the point is, they might be afraid he has a second advantage because he's been there, he started there, and they might be afraid he has the second advantage, which could give him a shot. But let's just say they successfully get rid of Alex. Suddenly, Rochelle has like all the power because Dot and Carrie are on one side and T and Anthony are on the other, and everyone's afraid of T and Anthony's a duo, and T and Anthony just want to survive. It's like Rochelle's just set herself up to play this middle so well. She just needs to get rid of the only other person who's technically capable of doing it, which is Alex. But Dot's never going to work with Alex anyways. So
I think that from Rochelle's point of view, working with Carrie is a plus all the way. Like if you can get Carrie to the final two with you, Carrie's already been voted out once. So that's something Rochelle can use to her advantage, saying, hey, I made it all the way through this game without getting voted out. That's why I should win. I don't think you can say the same for Carrie. I mean, we can see that Rochelle's kind of running this game. We also know that Rochelle has an advantage, which Carrie does not. Carrie, I want to say that she has to work with Alex now. Like she needs to work with Alex and Dot. Working with Rochelle is not going to benefit her because ultimately Rochelle's going to beat her out in the end. So Carrie's in a tough spot right now. I think she's going to have to win some more immunities. She's going to have to dictate how some of these votes go because simply getting to the end right now is not going to get her the win, especially after being voted out already. She's got to control some aspect of this game.
I agree with that.
Yeah. My concern this week with Carrie is that this was the week for her to do something. This was the week for her to draw her line in the sand and decide she wants to go to the end with Nav and Alex, which realistically, I think if it's a final three, realistically, she could probably win. She has a better shot, I think, with them than she does with Rochelle and T and Anthony. Nav was talking about Anthony as if he was someone that he thought he could easily beat in his confessional. But my point is, Carrie had her opportunity this round. She was immune. She knows Alex has some bullshit to save himself or help himself. And Nav straight up told her, I have an idol. That right in that chat was her chance to tell Nav to play the idol. And then Alex does his, whatever he's got. And Carrie suddenly has a solid 3 heading into final 6. And there's a duo, depending on who goes, there's still a duo people are afraid of. And
but do you think like Alex's lying and lack of communication with Carrie kind of hindered that from happening?
Yes, I do. I think Alex, his biggest issue is when he chooses to lie and how he chooses to communicate with people, because he was trying to be truthful with Nav, but he just for some reason refused to just tell him like flat out that he had an idol. He's just like, I got something, I'll be okay. It's like, why not just at that point, why not just tell Nav the whole shebang about what you're doing? Give him the chance to think through his own game solidly. I think if he knows Alex is idling 100%, that might have got him to where he needs to play his idol a little better. But he didn't really have that opportunity because Alex was never clear on what he had. The way he communicated that chat was so frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
So when Dot asked both Carrie and Rochelle who they wanted to go to final 3 with, they ended up saying those 3. But Dot's the weary one, it seems like, to go to the 3 with those 2. What do you think Dot should do?
Not go to the 3 with Rochelle because he loses badly, I think.
I don't think, thinking about it now, if it's difficult for me to decide because, again, Carrie being voted out, it's one of those things where, yeah, she already got voted out once. Do you deserve to win? But you also let her get to the end. So should she get the win? I'm kind of torn between the two. I definitely don't think Dot wins against Rochelle. I think that's a mistake for him wanting to take Rochelle to the end.
I don't think he's gonna win over T.
Yeah.
I think Dot has a chance against Anthony and Carrie, or God forbid if he gets there with Alex, I think he has a chance over Alex. I I feel bad saying this because I like Alex a lot, but like, how does Alex get jury votes? Like, really, how? I mean, besides like being a really scrappy underdog in the end game,
People
how
like
did-
an underdog story.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. He, I don't know, man. I just don't think the composition of this jury, even if Fan Guy learns Alex still had his back, which he eventually will, even if it comes out all the way at Final Tribal Council, he's eventually going to learn the truth. I just don't see him getting a majority of these votes.
If he can comp out, like he has a good shot with this 2048. That's a game that I believe he's good at. I think I've seen him play that before. If he can get a win here and maybe another immunity win after that, he's got a good chance to set him up for the end. But much like Kerry, he hasn't really had much control in this game, and he's just been surviving. But again, the underdog story is a big storyline that he can use at the end. Like, y'all been trying to get me out this entire game and you didn't succeed. And now I'm at the end. I should win. So I don't know. I mean, I think anybody could win at this point.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously anyone can win. I'm just talking degrees of likelihood. I feel like he has the hardest path to the end. And even if he gets there with an underdog story, I don't know if he's going to get respect from these jurors. I mean, let's say the chances are Dot's going to be back on the jury. I can't imagine Dot will be a happy camper, even though he's been really against Alex. He just really does not seem to like Alex. So, and then like, I don't think Nick ever got the chance to meet Alex.
I think he might get mad.
He did. Alex voted Nick out, though.
Okay, so they very briefly met on that swap tribe. Got it. Right. And he's never really had much of a relationship with Anthony and T. So let's just say both of them are on the jury. Like, he hasn't worked with them. He hasn't really worked to befriend them. And really, I think juries are usually going to vote for people that they were at least adjacent to in the game. I don't think
So
he gets those
stupid.
votes.
I hate
Fan
that.
guys might. Okay, I know, but it's the way a lot of people think. And Fan Guy, I don't think is his biggest fan right now. He's already won. That's probably going to be aired by the time Final Tribal Council is happening. Yes or no, Nick? Let's just say it has. So people are going to be like, well, he already won. He doesn't deserve to win again. Like, I think he just has so many things working against him, even if he makes the end, that I think he's the least likely to win right now. I'd be very impressed if he doesn't. I hope he proves me wrong for the
I hate
story.
it.
So, I mean, we touched upon it, but why Nav tried to get Kerry to vote with him and Alex, but any other thoughts on any of those conversations, like Rochelle lying to Alex and then Nav telling Alex the truth? Why was there a lack of communication with the outsiders of the four? I mean, is that just how it happens in these games a lot?
Really, I think it was Carrie just made her mind up that this, like she said, this is a sinking ship. I'm getting off the sinking ship. And then, so even though they showed her that the ship is like, they took her below deck and said, look, we've got caulk everywhere. No water's getting in. But she just said, I'm already on the lifeboat, guys. Sorry, bye. Like, she made her mind up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she had a chance to make this a 3-3 game, but now it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 against 1, and she's on the bottom of the 5, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
maybe she should have. Yeah, I think she should have went the 3-3 route instead of being on the bottom. Now she has to win out. If Alex wins immunity, wins this 2048, it's probably Kerry going home, right?
Probably. There are times to quote unquote jump off a sinking ship. I don't think this was the time,
It's debatable. I'm gonna come to her rescue and see. I can understand why she would want to jump off the sinking ship. Especially if I feel like I would have tried to force them to both play the idol, and I would have controlled how this vote would have went. Like both of y'all playing y'all idol, and all three of us are gonna vote for T or whatever. Like if I was Carrie, that's the play I would have made. But yeah, now that y'all put it like that, damn, she is on the bottom of the 5.
I mean, she did secure the final three with Rochelle and Dot. So maybe that's what she's thinking. They have the three that can split apart T and Anthony because only one of them can win immunity. But how do you trust anything that Rochelle's saying? Like I get so frustrated watching her conversations because I don't even know what she's doing. She never gives a real clear thought on, I'll do that.
But she does to her
list.
allies, the people she's working close
I don't know. It frustrates me so freaking much. And like, if I ever play a game with her, Rochelle, if you're watching this, you're first target on my list. Like, because I can't work with somebody like that.
That's
All right, I will jump to Rochelle's defense as in like, why ever trust anything Rochelle says? I have yet, like, the thing Rochelle doesn't do is she doesn't outright lie. She's just she does
She
what you
doesn't say
said.
anything.
Exactly. But mentally, people have a different reaction to, I don't know, I don't really like Miguel, might be him, to like, oh yeah, we'll vote out Anthony. And then the votes show up and she voted Miguel. When you look back on that and you're trying to reason why Miguel went over Anthony, you look and you say, well, Rochelle said, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I kind of like Anthony. I kind of don't like Miguel. I kind of don't like Fan Guy. And then you look and, well, her voting lines up with what she said. So why distrust? Why just trust her?
From my perspective, it's hard for me to work with somebody like that because I never know fully where they're at. So in my mind, I should just go ahead and get them out. Like, I would rather know that somebody is targeting me because then I can work around it, obviously. But when somebody doesn't give up information at all, that's going to be my first target. And I don't see why more people haven't seen that from the beginning.
I feel like Rochelle is like masterful at, in these short conversations, because these are very short, quick chats, that she gives out just enough little morsels of what she's thinking that people feel like they're getting substantive, good chats with her. I feel like they people walk away who aren't allied with her feeling like, I know what Rochelle's mind is at. I might not be happy with it, but I feel it. But the way she does it, she doesn't feel like she's taking a strong stance against you. I think she handles her chats, especially with the people on the outside of her inner circle, like extremely well.
And again, if she's watching, I'm not saying you're playing a bad game. I'm actually saying you're probably going to win this game and should. Just, I couldn't work with that.
Well, I got to
speed a really good game.
I got to speed this up in case Nav might be coming. So,
yay!
Well, also, I just wanted to say, I don't think Carrie was actually trying to completely jump off the ship. I did feel like she wanted to jump off with Nav, but there was just so much bad communication that it wasn't really working. But do you guys have, I gotta move on, sorry. But do you guys have any thoughts on the tribal council or just the split vote?
I liked Alex calling T out. Like, I really like that, saying, hey, you're being honest, who you voting for? Like she did, or like Fan Guy did with her. She straight up lied, obviously, but I thought it was pretty fun to watch. It was an interesting tribal council.
Well, any other thoughts on the vote out?
Yeah, they was all over the place. Nobody really knew what the fuck was going on, which was so confusing to me. I'm like, why did Alex vote for Rochelle? What in God's name made him put that down? What made him think that she was going to be the one to get out?
And I was turning on my street.
So I don't know. That was interesting. But,
I'm assuming he thought Nav was going to vote him.
Even though Nav said T. T.
I think Alex thought all the votes were going to be on him and he was going to have the deciding vote.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like he's even okay with a revote between T and Rochelle. I feel like that accomplishes his goals pretty well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that would have been fun to watch.
Yeah, I would have.
I do want to say I'm glad that the game has evolved to actually somebody trying to split a vote to get out of power. It was talked about in season 2 by the cleaners, but they didn't end up doing it. So I'm glad that somebody finally, in an online survival game, split a vote to get out of power. Could have backfired if Nav played his idol too, but didn't.
It's hard to play against 2 idols. It's hard to play against 1 idol. You have to have a lot of trust to split a vote because then it makes flips easier, even in big groups. And then, but if it's really hard to play against two idols, as in if there's only two targets, it's impossible. You know, if you lose to a double idol play, you got to feel like you couldn't have done much to prevent that.
Yep.
Well, any quick final thoughts?
We
No,
wrapped it up. I didn't expect to see these people in the finals. That's for sure.
I thought Anthony was going to be gone a long time ago. I'm surprised he's still here.
Same.
I told you guys he'd go far. I was right on the money on Anthony. I'm a little disappointed specifically that the Nav, Rochelle, Alex trio never really panned out, because man, that would have been a powerhouse trio potentially. But I guess Alex just kind of was not trusted. He just ended up being untrustable because of his communication.
Your reputation never goes away once you play a certain way. Like I'll never get rid of my paranoia title.
I feel like Alex's problems specifically are very fixable if he were to ever play Survivor specifically a third time. I feel like hopefully he learns that there are times to tell the truth, Alex. I know you watch these. There are times to be truthful with people.
Yeah. Choose wisely.
Well, any thoughts or predictions on the double elimination coming? No more chats. They only have to talk in tribal.
So they play the
Alex or Carrie?
Yeah, they play the 2048, and then they get some time to talk, but they have to talk publicly and then vote.
Yeah, it's got to be Alex or Carrie, right?
Yeah, I will say I'm not a huge fan specifically of this twist. I do feel that this spells the end for Alex. I'm going to boldly predict that he won't win 2048. I'm going to pick the house, or the field, I should say. That's the term. And that Alex just gets a simple, oh, he doesn't have anything anymore. Everyone pile votes on it.
Yeah.
Or they think he still has the vote switcher too, and they're like, pile votes on him so he can't do anything about it.
All right, let me try and break a nav here. Hello, Nav.
He's still connecting?
Yeah.
There he is.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey.
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome. Now, I know you didn't keep up with the episodes. You're kind of going by memory here on stuff, but just try not to spoil anything that has happened after your elimination. But,
Right.
well, I'm going to go back to the start of the game. You first met Nick and
Yes.
didn't hit it off with Nick. Why was that?
He just didn't seem interested in like talking to me in general, or maybe he just wasn't. Maybe it was just like a difference in personality, but he seemed distracted whenever we were on call, and he was just doing other things, looking elsewhere. And yeah, it was not a conversation that flowed smoothly. I was like, if he's not interested in talking to me, I'll just focus my efforts elsewhere.
Now, because of that conversation with Nick, you chose to pick opposite teams of Nick and ended up on Team Vicious. Are you happy that how that ended up?
Yeah, I am. I like the vibe of Team Vicious a lot, especially after. Sorry, it's been a while. Alex, was that his name? Alex, right? Yeah. After he joined, like the energy that he brought was great, and even like Carrie and what was that other guy's name?
Miguel, maybe?
Miguel.
No. The guy,
Fan
the
guy?
famous guy. Fan guy, yes. Yeah. I liked him a lot. I like Fan Guy and Carrie a lot. So it was nice. It was nice hanging out with them. The other team didn't look like a team that I would enjoy, honestly. So I was pretty happy with it.
Why do you say that about the other team?
Because like when we merged, we didn't gel. I didn't gel with any of them really. Other than like I never talked to Anthony, but I really liked talking to Anthony when we finally talked, on the day when my episode has already aired, right? So that's
Yeah, I don't know if that chat made the episode, but you did talk to Anthony that day.
right, exactly. I did talk to him, and that chat was a big reason why I felt comfortable not playing my idol on my episode. So yeah, he was a cool dude, but other than him, I didn't gel with anybody. So I think Team Wishes was where I would have done better. But it-
So what about the tribe swap when you swapped and you ended up on the team with Nick and Rochelle?
Mm.
At first, you were the good trio of you, Rochelle and Alex, did happen.
Yeah, I actually liked Rochelle a lot. It just so happens that she had her priorities elsewhere already formed, and I couldn't do anything about it. But the trio with her and Alex, I was really into. I would have liked to go with them all the way if that was possible. I probably would have taken Alex over her because I was closer to him, but still, like I was into that trio a lot. So it was just unfortunate that she had her priorities elsewhere. But that's the game.
I'll turn it over to the other three for questions if you have any pre-emerge questions, I guess.
I just want to say, Nav, I really like your game style. Definitely underrated socially. I thought you played a great social game. I was wanting to see you get to the end. I was excited to see. Hey, what's this relationship with Mike? Where did that start? He was really high on you, and I was high on you because y'all have.
I've been talking you up on the podcast now.
Like, did y'all play some orgs or something like that?
I've played a lot, like honestly, and I've taken a little bit of break from it, but I've been playing all over the map for like since 2014. So I'm sure I might have run into him. I'm sorry, it's off the top of my head. I can't remember where I ran into you, but I
Yeah.
also have a bit of a reputation for being an asshole in like an OpenID community.
As do I. So we work together well because we both are known to be a little harsh sometimes. So
But
You wouldn't play this
it's
season,
all
though.
theatricality. I don't think I'm like a malicious person. It's all theatricality for the purposes of entertainment. So I take it in stride even when people hate me. It's all part of the game.
So,
But yeah, sorry,
no,
to your point. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
knowing that you've played both types of games, like an org on Discord or something, and then playing with a camera in front of you, which is more difficult, or which one do you enjoy playing more?
It's actually two different questions, I guess. I would definitely think the on-camera one is more difficult for me because I tend to stutter when I'm talking. Like I don't have clear speech sometimes. I mean, sometimes, like it happens. Plus, my accent might be not easier to understand for some people at some point. Plus, like when you're on camera, it's like a lot of pressure to be like on all the time whenever you're on camera. I like to take my time. I'm relaxed. I'm laid back when I'm like talking on text, and I come across better on text because it's more apparent that I'm joking on text as opposed to like on camera where you might not know that I'm actually joking. But like I enjoy both experiences because they are challenging in their own ways. On text, I get to play more like diverse characters. Like I get to pretend that I have an accent or something, like I'm from down south, like all sorts of crazy stuff. On camera, you have to be more of yourself. You can't really put on a character to that extent. So it's I prefer on text more, but I enjoy on camera.
Would you play again?
Not this year. I'm definitely on break this year. Maybe next year if the bug hits me again.
Who was easiest to talk to on camera?
Alex, for sure.
Wow.
For sure. Anthony was great too. Anthony was like really fun to talk to, but I spent most of my time with Alex, so I'd have to say him.
So at the merge, we have this kind of confusing vote because I don't know if you watched the episode, I assume not, but it changed so much. The actual target changed. It ended up being Miguel.
Yeah.
And you switched to vote for Miguel because you thought the target was Alex, and he was the target at first, but it switched to Miguel. So, but then you switched your vote at the second vote between Miguel and Anthony to Anthony, but then Alex switched his vote to Miguel. But any thoughts on that merge vote?
It was a mess, man. We absolutely botched it right there. Like I think Team Vicious as a whole basically lost the game when Miguel left. Even though Miguel was a snake, like I'm sure he would have stabbed us in the back the first chance he got, but we needed him as a number at that point. So it was unfortunate that we botched it that badly. I was just worried because I hadn't really heard anything concrete from like a lot of people. And I think Rochelle was my main source of hearing Alex's name. And I thought Rochelle would be in the know from the other tribe. She would have more like actual relevant information. So I was really worried for Alex. I definitely didn't want to lose Alex. So even though he was a threat, I was like, he's somebody, he was giving me information. So I want him to stay in the game. Miguel, on the other hand, he's a known snake. He's probably going to turn on us soon. I was like, it's fine. But then in the revote, when it was between Miguel and Anthony, then the choice was very clear. Like both of them on numbers are probably against us, but at least Miguel has some history with us and other people voted for him. So I'll be a little desperate. If we can get Anthony out in this vote, it'll probably be better. It's a shame Alex switched at that point, but I can't really blame Alex because I voted Miguel to begin with. So it was a mess. It was a botch. And I wish that I had sort of just voted Anthony the first time around, but what can you do? We were operating with such little, at least I was operating with very little information. So I did the best with what I knew at the time.
Any merge questions for now?
I guess my only question is, did you not have no inkling of wanting to play the idol, or did you just, was it because you talked to Anthony, you just felt safe, or like?
It was more so I thought I would need it the next round. I was
Okay.
like, even if I play it now, I survive, we're probably screwed the next round. So I thought if we could get by using just Alex's idol this round, because he was definitely playing. So I was like, if it works out and if we still have my idol next round, we'll probably be in a situation to actually do something. Otherwise, we were gonna get overrun by them anyways. So it was a gamble, and I mean, maybe I should have played it and tried to win the next challenge or something, but I feel like I would still be in a very much similar situation. So I was like, I'll wing it, I'll risk it. If it works out, I'll be in a better spot next time. If it doesn't, it's, it is what it is. They got
So you did know that he had an idol, right? Like he was kind of
yeah,
hinting around it and never actually said it, but
Yeah.
you got the gist that he had one.
I mean, we had a call right before the vote. He admitted that he had an idol and he was gonna
Okay.
play it. So I was like, okay, that's good. And that's part of the reason I didn't think anybody else knew that it was an idol. I thought other people thought it was a switcher or something, and it won't really affect the numbers. Like they'll still vote for him, and it'll cancel out, and our target will go home. That unfortunately didn't happen. So they pulled a fast one, and props to them.
I think part of it is that you didn't watch the episode, but Carrie did mention that, oh, Nav has something too. So like, I think you kind of got screwed, is that Carrie kind of spilled the beans on you when you trusted Carrie. I think that's
did,
part.
yeah.
Yeah, that was part of your.
And then there was the whole fallout between Carrie and Alex too. Like they were at odds, and they really needed each other. Like I wish Carrie had like sort of put aside her vendetta against Alex at that point, but in the format like this where you can't really get people together, like you have to request, and sometimes your request doesn't go through because they have other chats. It's an interesting format, but it does have its limitations where you can't have all the conversations that you might need to have, and especially it's so fast paced. So
Yeah, we were talking earlier that at this point it's a 5-1 with Carrie on the bottom, where it could have been a 3-3 with
3-3.
you, her, and Alex,
Exactly.
And she didn't go that route. So ultimately, I think her or Alex are definitely going to be the next one to go out.
I can't really speak to that. I was obviously, I was rooting for Alex when I left because he's a great dude. Like he's really fun to talk to. I was rooting for Carrie as well. Like even though strategic blunders aside, she was perfectly pleasant to talk to, even back from our wishes days. So it's I would say the ending is really interesting. So I hope the people watching do enjoy what happens. But it would have been nice if all three of us got together and sort of figured things out at that point. So
in your opinion, would you consider Alex a pathological liar?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But like he does it in a charming way where you don't hate him for it. At least I didn't hate him for it after.
So the fan guy vote, we had the whole fucking the vote swap, and that you guys could have figured it out, but Alex lied that he voted for fan guy. So I guess you guys could have figured it out sooner, but because of that lie, I think it might have took an extra round to figure it out. But you were the first one to really figure it out. Now, the people other than the people that already knew the truth, I guess. But
like Alex didn't vote for fan guy, right? It was because the vote got swapped that fan guy left.
Yes, so but he lied and voted, said that he did, and then that confused
gotcha,
you and Carrie for a round.
I see. I mean, I honestly at that point didn't care that much. It was part of like not many people were giving me as much information, so I had to sort of depend on Alex to sort of fill in the holes where I didn't have the information. And Fan Guy was a threat. Like Fan Guy was a massive threat. So even if Alex did vote for him, I understand the strategic side of it. So it's too like I don't think it's beneficial to hold grudges over a vote because somebody who voted against you, you might need to work with them down the line. So might as well just look at the positive sides, try to see where they're coming from. If it makes sense, shake hands and move forward. If it doesn't make sense, maybe you're gonna vote against each other anyway. So it doesn't really matter. That's how I look at it.
How did you enjoy the challenge on this episode where you had to hold your
Oh,
and you stayed a minute and a half over, but
towards the end, I felt it physically. Like I was feeling it physically towards the end. Like I was banging my feet. I don't know if that was audible, but I was banging my feet just to keep my focus. Um, but the surprising part for me was I thought my count was pretty accurate. Like I thought, like I was counting in my head the seconds and stuff. Like, and I thought I was gonna be close at least. I had like a bit of a buffer in mind that I'm gonna stop at like 1,000 or something like that, 100 short or something like that. But I was very surprised when you said I overshot it by a minute. Like, I was like, I just lost complete track of time when that happened. But
I mean, he let
as
me
a
go over
challenge, like
5
as a
minutes.
test of your physical abilities, I thought it was great. Like I enjoyed it. I definitely felt it afterwards.
do you guys have any final questions for Nav?
I'll ask the question that I normally ask people when they're giving us interviews. Like, do you, when you're not on cam, just in your everyday life doing your other activities, are you still thinking about the game?
Yeah, I think it's somewhat inevitable when you put yourself in an environment like this, which is so competitive, and it's so involved, talking to people, like analyzing conversations, thinking about your moves, thinking about who's doing what. It's inevitable that those thoughts are gonna keep popping up in your head, and you can't really control them. And that's part of the game that I actually enjoy. Like I enjoy thinking of scenarios, like, oh, what is this person's final two gonna be? How are they gonna get there? What argument are they gonna make when they get there? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to think about that. It's what draws me into watching Survivor to begin with. So yeah, for sure, it takes up a lot of headspace. I tried to not let it like become overbearing. Like I kept myself busy with other things also. But like definitely, a huge part of the downtime goes into thinking about scenarios. For sure.
Who do you want to win right now?
Alex for sure. He's been the guy I was closest to since the beginning. Carrie wouldn't be, Carrie would be my next choice. And even though it didn't make it the air, like Anthony, the conversation I had with Anthony really changed my like perception of him. Like I always thought he was a good kid. I didn't think he was playing a good game, but after the conversation that we had during the round of my elimination, I thought, you know what, he's good. Like he's smart and he knows what he's doing. So he would have been like the next person I was rooting for.
Who surprised you the most?
Surprised me the most.
Good or bad, I guess.
Bad, definitely Rochelle, unfortunately. Like it was, I feel like I was way too open with Rochelle and that was to my own detriment. And even though I understand like she already had like a deal with other people in place, it was still like that was a surprise. Like even though she had these strong deals, she was still able to play up the sort of loyalty factor to both Alex and I, and just able to sort of go back on it with as much ease that she could. Like it's impressive. It's it's cutthroat gameplay. It takes skill, but it was definitely like a surprise at the time. In a good way, Anthony for sure. But yeah, those would be my two picks.
All right. Well, do you guys have any last questions?
Are you going to play the game with him?
I mean, I can. Well, usually I say one of the people's names, and then I want you to give the first word that comes to mind after I say that person's name.
Okay. I might not remember everybody, so I apologize if that happens. But yeah, I'll try my best.
I'll start with Nick.
Boring.
How about Nicole?
Nicole, Loud, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Loud.
You do. You remember.
You remember correctly.
How about T?
Cunning.
How about Dot?
hang on, I'm trying to think of the word. Like, he's like a schmoozer.
Has to be the word
Schmoozer.
that is used for that. How about Miguel?
Snake.
How about Carrie?
Caring. She's caring.
How about Anthony?
Eccentric, but like in a good way.
How about John?
John. I don't remember John really.
Yeah, you guys never had a conversation in the game,
Yeah.
so that's probably why. How about who's left? Van guy.
Energetic.
How about Rochelle?
Cold.
How about Alex?
Fun loving.
I think that's everybody. Well, Nav, I want to thank you for joining us on the podcast, and
My
thanks
pleasure.
for playing. Hopefully one day
pleasure.
when you're back to playing games, you'll play some other game one day.
You never know.
All right.
Thanks a lot. See ya. Thanks everyone. Have fun.
See ya.
Good Nav. Well, I mean, you guys didn't make full predictions. If you guys have any final predictions that you want to make,
Are we still online? Still recording?
we are.
Like I
thought you
just
cut us off.
Because 2 people are going home in the next episode. So
Okay, we are
Oh.
seeing both in the next episode. Okay.
I'm telling
Okay.
you, it's gonna be Carrie and Alex, the same people that Nav just said he want to win.
I think Alex is going to go first in this really quick. They're just going to pile votes on him. I think he will lose immunity because I think statistically that's just more likely. And then he's going to go. And then I think the next vote's actually going to be really interesting. And I actually think Rochelle is going to end up as the swing vote like we've discussed. I think she's going to plan to vote Carrie. And then I think Carrie's going to win her 3rd immunity challenge, potentially 4th if she wins the whatever. And Rochelle's going to be like, well, I don't want to hear a dot. So now I'm going to get rid of either Anthony or T.
T.
And I
Ooh.
really do think she's going to break up that duo in this episode. I think that duo is going to meet its end. I don't know which one's going to go. I'm not going to be that bold, but I do think that duo is going to lose one of the 2 of them.
We're losing 2 people in the next episode.
Yep.
We go Alex, Anthony.
Awesome.
Okay. I already told you it's gonna be Alex
Okay,
and
yeah.
Carrie.
All right. Well, we shall end it there until next week.